Hey everybody, welcome back to I Know a Guy. I'm Anthony, and this is the podcast where connections thrive. Each episode, we spotlight inspiring entrepreneurs, professionals, and individuals doing amazing things. Together, we'll grow your circle, spark collaborations, and discover new opportunities. Today, we're meeting Avital Spivak, the founder of Vital Weave Tech Confidence. Avital is passionate about helping coaches, speakers, and entrepreneurs overcome their tech challenges with ease and confidence by focusing on the person first and empowering them to set up their systems so that they can grow their businesses and show up online as a high-value professionals that they are. How are you doing, Avital?
Hey, Anthony. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. I loved our conversation we had before. I was super excited to kind of show you to others, have others people meet you, kind of see what you're doing. So was looking forward to this. So to start off, where are you located? Where are you calling in from?
Calling in from New Jersey. I've been here for a while, but my accent is not from New Jersey.
Well, where's the accent from for those that can't put their finger on it?
I was born in Israel and grew up half in Israel, half in France.
Okay.
And I've been here for over 20 years now.
So that's got to be a unique accent, right? A little bit of both, all three areas, so quite different.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, for folks that are newer to your area, let's say you have friends coming over. Where are you taking them? What are you doing, and what are you having them eat?
Ooh. There are many Asian restaurants here. So my favorites are Thai, Malaysian. So that's where I'll take them. And we can go either of two ways. Either we can go into Manhattan if there's city people, because I'm about 15 minutes from there, or we go hiking in the mountains, which is 15 minutes in the other direction. So we have the good of all worlds here.
I like that. You can kind of go either way depending on the person. So that's awesome. You really don't think, your area, you don't think like hiking and stuff, but it's absolutely right there, like you said. So, well, what can you tell us about what you do?
I work with solopreneurs that are struggling, have some trouble with the technology that they need to run their business every day. And that means either you need to set up because you knew, or maybe you came out of corporate and this new technology side is weird. So when it's new to you, that's when I work with you. I look at technology as computer land. So computer land is this land with a different language and a different culture. And when you land in it and you're a business person, it's very hard to do business when you don't speak the language.
Mm-hmm. How did you get started? What kind of got you down on the tech path? Have you always been in tech, or is it something newer?
I'm a computer engineer. I worked in software engineering and computer engineering in many years and many startups. And at the same time, I was also doing what I called at the time tutoring. I was working with people on things that they were having trouble with, either math or setting up the business or setting up tech or whatever it was. I was doing extra hours because I just love the educational side and the training side. And then it all came together into working with solopreneurs on their business and really thinking of the people first, because it's all about getting to love something that you currently are hating or uncomfortable with. So,
yeah, absolutely. And tech's everywhere, right? So what in particular, made you want to help the solopreneurs or small businesses with the tech side? Kind of what over everything out there, what made you want to do that?
That's a great question, because when I started, I worked with anybody because, like you said, tech is everywhere. So how do I change the clock in my car? And why does my, new oven only speak in a screen? And, my laundry doesn't have buttons anymore, and anything and everything. And as I was working with people, helping them see technology differently, started to use the phone and, smartphone and things like that. Other people started coming to me and said, okay, I see that you're talking about technology in general, but can you help me with my business? And I was like, oh, yes, I can. First of all, I've already worked with some people on their business because that's what they wanted. But also with my background, all of that was easy for me. And as I created my company, I figured out how to do the tech for the business. And there was really nobody showing it. So I realized this was an empty spot and people needed that help, which is beyond either done for you type answers or either thing, because you need somebody with you to learn what to do. And that was missing, looking at the person in the business, not in the tech in the business.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. A lot of it is just like, oh, we'll take care of it. When, as the entrepreneur, as a business, you need to know at least the high level how this stuff works, or else you don't know what you don't know. So you might end up with a stack of technology, where like you have a lot of redundancy. You don't need all of that when this can handle this, this, and this, and yet you're paying for all of it. So it is important to have somebody like yourself come in and say, hey, you know what, let's teach you. So that you know enough to kind of make good decisions with it. So what's your favorite thing about what you're doing?
I love working with people. And my favorite thing is when I start working with somebody and we start doing a few things, and then they like suddenly their eyes light up. Really? It's like that? I can do this? Okay, what else can I do? Can you show me this? Can you show me this? It really explodes from something that they were like, just, I don't need this thing, and yes, I have to, so I'll do it begrudgingly, to, oh my God, I can do this. That's my absolute favorite moment.
Yeah, I get that. There's something about that where it's like, you just saved me so much time. Just having this basic explanation, now this all makes sense, and that eureka moments, really fun to see, even if you're not the one having them, but seeing others have them. What are some hard-won lessons that you learned starting your own business, or that you're seeing others make in their business, that you would advise people starting off their entrepreneur journey, or people that have been in it for a while but are now integrating tech? What are some advice that you would give them?
I would say the main thing I can tell you is start looking at your tech as your team. And anything that you know about teams, anybody who's over, say, 30, knows how to work with a team, even if they didn't have to recruit a team before. But everything you know about working with teams and people being able to speak with each other, to exchange information, to work together, all of that is true for your tools. And if we just look at each tool separately and think, is that good for me? Is that not good for me? But you're not thinking about, okay, I'm bringing it in. Does it talk with the others? Does it work well? All those questions that we run into later. Oh my God, this works well, but now I can't get my data here and I can't get my data there. There's a lot of things that get resolved when you start thinking like that. Okay. And that's a huge piece of what's missing when people are trying to seek the right tools for themselves.
Okay. What does your average client look like? What are some pain points that people might be dealing with, that if they're going through XYZ, you're the person that they should be talking to?
So there's two main clients. Ones are the ones that somehow didn't catch the technology train before. They've, kind of like, I can ignore it, and oh no, it's everywhere in everything. I can no longer ignore it. And currently, there are no good courses for somebody who's coming from scratch. Every course you try to take is starting from assuming that you know email and you know files and you know Windows and you can move things around, and it's considered a basic, but people who never really got there, it's not basic for them. So that's one profile of a client for me.
Yeah, and that's important. A lot of those people, they might be a little bit embarrassed that they don't know, so they don't even ask for help. Which is, it's just doing nothing but hurting them further in the long run. Be willing to say, talk to me like I'm 5. I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people, they'll catch on quickly as long as somebody starts where they're at and they can get to where they're going. It's not
they catch on really quickly, because a lot of them are seasoned business people. They're really very capable in many other places. And those are all the skills that I need to teach them. So they already know. I just show them how to translate from every skill that they learned into computer land. Yes, you can use this skill here. Yes, you can use that skill here. That's what it looks like in computer land. And once they translate, they move on really, really fast, because I just gave them an entryway. They already have the skills. So it goes really, really fast.
Mm-hmm. What does your process look like so that you can make sure that you're meeting them where they're at and you're not like talking over their heads? Because, like I said, a lot of them might be a little bit too shy or embarrassed to even mention. I really don't even know what you're talking about yet. How do you kind of find that comfort zone for them that you can grow off of?
Wonderful question. I observe. So, and I don't assume anything. So I ask people and I tell them in the beginning, I'm going to ask you questions and you're going to think, are you crazy? I've learned that when I was 5. Why do you ask me if I know how to do this? And I say, I'm not assuming that you know any of it. So when I ask, I'm seeking observation. Do you know it? Do you not know it? If you know it, great. I'm not that interested. You don't know it? Oh, now I get excited when you don't know. And I think that's what happens. They start realizing it's a safe space to say, I don't know. And when they don't know, I was like, great, now I have something I can give you. So I get more excited when you don't know than when you do.
Yeah, because it might not be that they don't know any of it. It might be they just have a gap where it's like they understand all of these basics, but just not this. For some reason, that got glossed over. So that is
Yeah.
important. Saying, okay, we're gonna take a test and we're gonna find out where you're lacking, where you're at. So that's awesome. What about power partners? What are other industries or other professionals that you can synergize really well with? Maybe you're helping the same clients, you can refer back and forth, and you find a lot of partnerships and collaborations working with.
Yeah, most of my collaborations are with people who are either running courses or have clients like business coaches. Because with business coaches, they give advice to the client. If the client cannot actually make it happen, as in sending emails or doing this, like there's a lot of different marketing suggestions or other strategies that require some tech. And if you don't know enough to even get the right help, even if you have money to have somebody do it for you, you need to guide them to do it, to do what you need. So business coaches, when they have clients that are very low on tech, and that's when they come to me. And once I get in, it's a win-win-win instead of both sides being very unhappy with each other. The other power client I have are course runners, people who have courses going. And usually with a course, if it's a course that is, some component where you need to send something back in Google Docs or you need to do something on a platform, there's always a percentage of the clients that cannot even start the course because they fail to either work well within the platform or the communication methods of the course, or Google Docs or anything else that needs to do that. And the course is completely fitting. For example, I had a garden designer who had a course for somebody who had a course for garden designers. And they showed them how to create the online portion of marketing, etc. And it was really amazing. It was for garden designers in England that have a lot of people doing small things. And the person that she sent to me didn't know how to work with the computer well, very basic. And she couldn't really take the course. So we worked through how to work with Zoom and how to work with video and how to work with her phone. And she finished the course and she has many more clients than she had before. She's so excited about it. She would have fallen through right at the beginning of the course without this help.
That's awesome. I really love stories like that.
So that was a story of helping one person. But my favorite thing with course runners is to do a training for their people. I have a course called Navigating Google Land. It's a very small thing. And if they install it in the beginning, everybody knows how to do what they need with Google Docs in your course. So we collaborate so it becomes a bonus or a bonus training or something that makes people able to do the course well and easily.
That's awesome. I really like that. It really adds value to the course where it's like, okay, we have all this great value in the course, but we're going to make sure that you could take the most out of it as possible. So here's the basics that you need to know to do. I really like that. I really like that approach. So that's awesome. That's really creative. I really like that. What's the biggest myth about technology that holds people back from mastering it?
I think the biggest myth is thinking that it's too much, that there's so much to learn, and there's so many things that I cannot, if I've tried a few times and I failed, it means I can't. But you said it before, meeting them where they are, that makes all the difference. Because, if the knowledge starts from floor one, but you're actually on the ground floor. And you're trying like, I tried, I can't get there. And I put a ladder here. And now you do things with me. Now you can take all the other courses or whatever it is that you need. And it makes all the difference to meet them where they are and bring them to where everybody else is.
Yeah, that's really important. I mean, when you look at business owners, the whole idea behind the technology is to make what you're doing more efficient or better in some way. And like you said earlier, they already know the basics. They know the analog version. So once they start understanding, like, oh, okay, I see how this helps me, and they understand enough. So like you said, they already know the basics. So the plug and play part of it, once they learn that, I imagine they catch on very, very quickly because it's just doing what we've been doing for years, but more efficiently. So
Exactly.
awesome. How can
I think my favorite thing around that is because we do something and then they go home and then they come back and say, and I did this and I did this and I did this. And I say, how did you do that? We never, went over it and said, no, but because of what you said, I thought, let me try. And suddenly they're doing all sorts of things we've never learned because they got the confidence to try. That makes a huge difference.
That's awesome. The confidence and the excitement, because they start seeing it work and they start having that, I can do this, and they start going down that rabbit hole. Because when it comes to tech, you can go down rabbit holes and you can find out all sorts of stuff. So once you get going, it's hard to stop. So awesome. How can entrepreneurs turn their tech frustrations into tools for success?
I would say keep it simple. Keep it simple. Get good with the basics. So everything that you need, just start with something and get good at that, and then get another piece in. Don't try it all at once. You don't need everything to do things. You can think of your strategy. What is it that the business needs? How can I most simply make it happen? It doesn't matter that your friend has some big automation that's doing it in this. You don't really need all of that. You just need the beginning. So keep it simple. Something that works with your strategy. You don't need to match everybody else's.
Okay. So in the vein of keeping it simple, what's one simple mindset shift that can make navigating technology easier?
Here's my favorite. You know how there's so many things coming? It's an avalanche of technology. There's so many new tools and new suggestions and new recommendations, and people are doing things around us. And then even the things that we knew yesterday, you come in the morning and it's changed. So it's really too much. This is real. We're not imagining that it feels like that. It's like that. So how can we handle that? What's the mindset that we actually already have that skill. Most of us do. Have you ever been to a supermarket? Supermarket has thousands of things and new ones every day and multiples of each kind and vendors that are recommending and tasting, and it's crazy. It's very similar. And somehow miraculously we get home, except for a few extras, we have mostly what we need with us. And we didn't spend, hopefully, the whole day checking everything and trying to learn it all. So if you look at technology like that, what is it that I need? Let me satisfy that, and that's it. I don't need all the others and all the similar ones and all the better ones and all the... So that's the biggest thing. Start from your needs, match simple tech to it, and you're moving.
That's fantastic advice. I never thought of it that way. And I'm notorious for getting extra stuff at the grocery store where you walk by and go, ooh, that looks good, and you snag it. So, but I get it. So awesome. Awesome. Is there anything that I missed or failed to ask that you wanted to add?
No, I think that's the main thing.
Awesome.
Yeah, I do have a thing that helps people with this. It's called the 10 do's and don'ts of getting the tech advantage. It's non-techie do's and don'ts. And a lot of this is there. Number one is the supermarket one that I just gave you, but there's a whole bunch more that help with the tech mindset and getting it simple.
Okay. For people that want to do that, want to get simple, that want to, go and learn this tech and understand it, or don't feel like they can, how can they get a hold of you? Where can they find you?
So they can find me on LinkedIn under Avital Spivak. just like that, no dots, no dashes. Then they can also come to my website, vitalweave.com. And the main thing I suggest is come to my workshop. It's askavital.com/workshop. I do it every few weeks, and we can talk more there.
Perfect. And I'll put all that in the description so people can click on it and find it right away. We're not going to have to hunt for it. So it's all going to be in the show notes. But if anybody would like to get a hold of Avital, I absolutely recommend you do it. You're going to walk away knowing more than you did going in. Even if you think you have, a pretty good handle on tech, you probably do have some gaps. And it's important to kind of get an idea where you might be lacking, especially because like we said earlier, technology, every day it's new and it's accelerating. There tends to be more new every day. So staying on top of that and understanding, getting a good foundation is going to be super important. So absolutely reach out to her. And you prefer a three-way introduction if you're a little bit more shy, reach out to me. I'm happy to do that as well. You can visit me at ikag.me, where you can find more episodes, subscribe to our newsletter, and connect to our growing community. If you or somebody you know out there would like to be interviewed, you can also apply to be a guest. But again, Avital, I really appreciate you taking the time and going over your approach, because I think a lot of it's needed. A lot of us could use the help, especially in the tech area, because it's always changing and we don't know what we don't know. So really happy that you're out there, folks like you are out there doing that. So let's all go out there. Let's have an awesome day and let's grow our circle. All right.
Here, here. Thanks, Anthony.